Alright, so recently Adam Neely asked a bunch of people at NAMM when he was visiting what their advice in 5 words or less would be to beginner musicians. As a lecturer to students that are just starting their musical careers, I thought I might share what my 5 words would be. Hey, my name is Steve, composer, engineer and lecturer, and welcome back to the channel. Beginning your musical journey can be really daunting. It's sort of a time of uncertainty and vulnerability. It can feel like a huge mountain to climb, but there is honestly never a better time to start than right now. The sooner you start, the sooner you get to your goals. If you have a drive to learn something new and get started with music today, you can just get involved with everything music. No, that's not my 5 words. Ultimately, you have to start somewhere. That's also not them. And honestly, you're gonna suck for a bit. That's just the way it is. With anything you do, for the very first time, there is no perfect, flawless execution. You're gonna need practice. You're gonna need time to understand how everything works and, how to just do basic things. It's like learning to walk, right? You can't just get up and run. You do have to take one foot in front of the other, learn how to step before you can walk, before you can run. And those first few steps look kind of ridiculous, to be honest. They just do. They look kind of funny. But it's all just a part of the learning experience. You do have to start somewhere. But this, I think, is where my 5 words come into play. They are this: don't compare yourself to others. Do not compare yourself to people. I know you want to be the best. You want to be the best guitarist in the world to shred, and that's how can you be the best one if you're not beating everybody else? But that's just not going to be enough to drive you through your musical education. It just simply isn't enough force behind it to allow you to follow this through. These aren't just words for beginners. These are actually words for everyone in every musical journey aspect of their lives. Don't compare yourself to others. As soon as you start comparing yourself to other people, you set really unrealistic goals, and you're kind of pursuing something for the wrong reason, in my opinion. Here are a few reasons why I think you shouldn't be comparing yourself to other people. Firstly, do you think Jimi Hendrix or Van Halen just picked up a guitar and started shredding? No, definitely not. Everyone has to start somewhere. Everyone has to learn the basics to begin with. It's just a part of the learning experience, right? So if you're looking at yourself and going, why am I not as good as that person? It's honestly probably because they've spent years, decades probably, honing their craft and learning this. And at some point they started exactly where you are right now. I think it's great to aspire to something like that performance level or ability level, but it's not going to be very useful when you're trying to compare and assess where you're up to right now, because you're never going to be that right away. If my time in lecturing and teaching has taught me anything, it's that people really do need a drive or something that motivates them to keep going and to push through the difficult times in those early stages. Wanting to be as good as someone else or better than that person or aspire to match that ability or that level. It's a good aspiration, but if you're constantly doing something just to be better than someone else, it's not going to be enough. It's just not going to drive you and push you forward. You've got to want it. You've got to want to do music. You've got to want to perform or want to compose or want to be a musician. If you don't want it and you don't really know why you're there, you're probably not going to get the most out of it, and you'll end up dropping it and losing out. Another reason is creators often get stuck in a cycle of amazing highs and abysmal lows. We're elated when something is working really well and sounding amazing, and then we're in plummeting down in the dumps when someone's not playing our song on Spotify or clicking on our video on YouTube. Like and subscribe, by the way. Yeah. If you're comparing yourself to someone else, you might feel like you're failing because you haven't got those plays, those likes, those things that are tangible that someone else seems to have. Guess what though? Likes, comments, they're great, but they're not an indicator of what's amazing music, and they're not an indicator of your contribution to the world. Comparing yourself to someone else and constantly asking why you're not as good or why you're not getting as much attention or why they are doing better than you are is only going to lead you down a negative path. It's only going to leave you more upset or more down in the dumps than you already are. You can only feel like you're succeeding if you don't feel constantly squashed down by someone else's expectations or someone else's ability level. So why compare yourself constantly to someone who's had more experience and more time in the industry just to say, oh, I'm not as good as them? It seems kind of silly. And the last thing is, someone else's ability does not devalue your music. It doesn't make your art any less valuable than theirs. As long as you are pushing forward and you're achieving what you want to achieve right now, and you're getting better and always opening more doors for the ability to go further and try new things, that's what matters. You are pushing yourself to achieve something that you haven't done before, and that is to be commended at every opportunity. I realize that sometimes what may be difficult to you is super easy to someone else. Maybe, for instance, you have seen a classmate and they are flying through their door and doing things left, right, and center and able to make a beat really quickly. And you're like, why can they do it and I can't? Why am I struggling? Am I talentless? Am I less than they are? The answer is no on both accounts. It's just simply that they've probably had more time with the software. They've practiced more, they maybe written more music in their time, and that's why they're further along. There's nothing that anybody can do that you can't do as well. With enough time, enough patience, enough practice, you can achieve something very similar, if not the same. So if you see someone doing something amazing, and you're like, why am I not there yet? Realize that it's because they are further along than you are, and you'll be there one day. I really do hope you take this advice to heart. I have no idea, I can't see you right now, I'm just talking to a camera. But I'm hoping that you're listening and taking this advice to heart. As I said, it's not just for beginners. It's something that I feel like we may need to remind ourselves a lot during our careers. Is that, when you hear something amazing from someone else, to not listen to that voice that says, why are you terrible in comparison to that? Because that's just not helpful, and that's not even fair on yourself. You are who you are, and your makeup and music and influences is unique to you. There's never going to be another you. Write the music that you want to write. Don't imitate someone else. Don't try and be someone else. Be you. You are you, and your music is you, and that is what matters most. You have so much to give as a musician, as a creative, so don't let anybody get in your way, and don't compare yourself to others. I'll catch you later.